Hi, this is Matthew Nava, composer of original music for Quixote Nuevo, and you are listening to Behind the Music of Quixote Nuevo.
How did you compose music for lyrics that were already written?
Well, at first I read the lyrics as poetry because since there was no accompanying music or musical notes for the actual lyrics, I had to just read them as text themselves. But some of the lyrics were arranged into noticeable rhythm, a noticeable cadence, a noticeable beat, if you will. So that informed the musical skeleton, pun intended, for the rest of what I had to do for the song.
Did you develop any recurring musical themes or motifs for characters or any storylines in the production?
Oh, absolutely. For the Calacas characters in the play, most of their songs had the same cadence or rhythm, so a lot of their songs varied very minimally, but they still stayed with the same feel.
What musical styles or cultural influences did you draw for this score?
Oh, I learned so much from working on this music. I'm Latino, but I'm definitely a no sabo kid. Like, I lived in El Paso my whole life, but I wasn't steeped in Mexican culture or speaking the language even. I didn't start learning Spanish until I was in high school. But I was able to educate myself on música norteño. I was able to listen to more rancheras, music of Javier Solis, and it really deepened my understanding, especially the contemporary music. I don't listen to this stuff, but I was able to research it and take a couple of examples from different artists and really be able to enhance my ideas of what my culture is. Working on this music also allowed me to get in touch with my culture.
Was there a particular instrument or sound that became central to the show's musical identity when you're creating your music?
Oh yeah. I would write every single song starting with on guitar, just to make sure that the lyrics would work with my ideas. And then the fun part after that, and I love this part, is like you have the bare skeleton of the song just on guitar, and then you find interesting ways to compound upon that, add different instruments, different parts, different counter melodies, and try to make the music more interesting. My nephews even came over to help me with additional guitar and vihuela, so that was cool.
Now, this all seems very complicated and challenging, especially for maybe those out there that are not versed in music. So did you face any challenges when writing the music for a particular scene, and why were they challenging?
Well, actually, the last song of the play, what I called unofficially the Ballad of Dulcinea, that one was definitely the most challenging because what the director told me is he wanted to have a ranchera. And again, I'm a no sabo kid, so I had to research and really see what that was all about and try and get a better idea of it. So it challenged me. It really challenged me. And then as an artist, I love that. I love being challenged with it. But it allowed me to try different things out and try and make them match and see what really worked. And I'm really glad that Martin accepted and liked what I was doing. So that really made me feel justified.
When needing to balance text and this music that you've been creating for this production, how do you balance being able to support text that is already written in a script, but also being able to put your own spin and stand out as a composer?
Well, I mean, it's not easy. I mean, that's what we do as artists. We try to put a little bit of ourselves into everything that we do. But the biggest component, the biggest help to that, me be able to strike that balance, was the director Martin. He helped a lot with this. He would tell me what he wanted from each song, what the purpose of the song was for the scene, and how it was going to compound upon what he was doing with the actors. And with that, I was able to have conversations with him about the feel, the emotion, the purpose of the song, and how it would affect the scene as a total. So as far as recognition for myself as a composer, it wasn't really like a thing like people have to know who I am or they have to respect me as an artist. That was the last thing. The most important thing was to make sure that it worked for the scene and that the emotion from the song itself would match the emotion of the scene that it was connected to.
So you really looked at and worked with Martin to make sure that the music enhanced or deepened the story. And how do you feel like you achieved that with the music that you composed for this production?
I really hope so, because to begin with, music is a cross-cultural, cross-generational, and cross-barrier connector for us as humans. Especially for me and my family, music is like it's like breathing. It's something that really connects to us on a really deep level. So for the story of Quixote, I hope that the music will help express the nuances of the story of Quixote, mostly of how you see him as a character. Two different types, two different ways. Is he an adventurer or is he a loco? You don't know, but that's the dichotomy. That's the interesting part, and I'm really hoping that the music that I've be able to create for this show will help show that to people and help them connect to it in a personal way.
That kind of answers my next question, but I would like to give you an opportunity to add anything else. But what do you hope audiences take away from your music in this show and in Quixote Nuevo as a whole production?
Well, for number one, I hope they enjoy the music. That's why I do it. I hope that people enjoy what they're hearing, but I also hope that they hear a few earworms, and some of the melodies get stuck in their head. And even if not, I hope they just enjoy it as an additional way to enhance the story and to show what's happening on stage in a deeper way and to connect with them again. So I really hope that the music helps the audience connect more deeply with the outstanding performances from the actors on stage. That's my main goal.